Yo, what's up, guys? So this one is called services, and I just want to bang this one out real quick. You know, it just popped into my head, so I'm like, let me just bang it out before I forget. And no, I don't sit around thinking about the industry all day. You know, when I'm doing DIY, I'm normally listening to like you know, finance shit or shit like that, or other shit. You know, or music even. So, you know, so I'm stopping to, that's a curse I have, you know, to try to help you guys, you know, and I just thought of this point that I've never made, so here it is. So, about services. When me and my ex were working together, right, just the two of us, and this is after we you know, broke up, you know. This is later, you know, and I think our working relationship ended around like 2016, late 2016, something like that. I forget. But we ended things in 2010, so that was years later, right? That we kept things going as far as that shit. But here's the point. With the management shit, like, not once did she ever say to me, hey, you know what we should do? We should go try to sign writers who've won contests or are in these services and this kind of shit. Why don't you go sift through that stuff, you know? Make me do it. Why don't you go do the grunt work and sift through that shit and see if you can, you know, find some clients? That was never suggested to me. Not once. You know? Why not? You know? And see, if you said that on Twitter, that's why I don't like these conversations on Twitter, these little stupid ass debates. Why not? You know? People on Twitter would say, because you guys don't know as much as Matt does. That's not why. That's not why. It's because there is a good script in there somewhere. In that mountain, you know, there's a needle in that mountain of that haystack. It's in there somewhere. Several. But fucking A, look at that mountain. It's going to take us forever to get through all this shit. That's why. When, on the other hand, you have people coming to you, handing you a tray of, you know, on a silver platter, a tray of like 10 needles perfectly laid out. Would you like to sign any of these needles? You know, and you take a look at them and you're like, no, all those are a pass for me. And then they come with more on a silver platter and you look at them all and you're like, I'll take this one. I'll sign that needle. The rest of them, it's a pass for me. Thank you. That's why. That's how it is for some people. You don't have to look through this, you know, needle in the haystack. And I spoke to an agent several months ago, and I asked them that question: do you do that? Do you you know, sift through these services and shit? I already knew the question. It was in a clubhouse room. I already knew the answer, but I just asked the question for the newer writers, because some newer writers, certain questions they don't know to ask. And I go into a specific industry room, and sometimes I ask questions like that because I'm trying to like lead the newer writers to a question that they should be asking, you know. And so he said, no, I don't. It's, for me, he says, like, you know, at this stage in my career, it's pretty much referrals only, you know. And pointed out a couple people in the room, like, if you know, if they, you know, suggested a script, or them, or it's like, or if you, Jason, you know, I'm gonna trust that much over a, you know, contest or some service or something. So there's the point. Next point is, in these services and this kind of shit, when I see the same names coming up again and again and again and again, managers and shit like this, swear to God, man, I start to wonder, are they getting kickbacks? It's just a question. I'm not accusing anybody of that. But it is a question. Are they? Are they getting kickbacks to sort of promote this service? Who knows? You know? I'm not gonna trust any of those service people with my life. I don't trust the real fucking industry with my life. I'm not gonna trust some service. You know, no fucking way. I don't know what they're doing back there. You know. So that's a question I've had. Lastly, this, and so this will be a little shorter one. You know, I say, yeah, I think these services are bullshit, man, and I've seen them lie. I've read shit where I'm like, that is a fucking lie, because I know who sold that, and it wasn't them, or whatever it might be. You know, or they super stretch the truth, or they're very manipulative in the way that they say it. You know, where I can read right through it, you know. But I think a lot of newer writers are like, but then how would they get away with, like, I look at their websites and they have all the emblems and shit, like CAA, WME, HBO, Netflix, Paramount. How would they get away with that? Like, wouldn't that be illegal? Like, it must mostly be true then. No, dude, no. By the way, here's two things. I don't want to forget this, and I'll get back to that. By the way, through researching this shit, and the only reason I research this shit is to try to help you guys. I don't give a fuck. I'm not ever gonna sign up with one of these services for real, to try to, like, use it as a springboard. No, I'm doing this for you guys. If I put my script in, I don't give a fuck what they say about it. Or this shit, if I'm looking at this shit, I'm trying to help you, some of you guys, who maybe aren't as advanced. So one thing I noticed is 2 different services were claiming the same person as one of their success stories. And I reached out to that person. I said, is this, like, what's up with this? And they were kind of like, I'm like, which one was it? And they were kind of like, that kind of thing. Like, I'm like, is this bullshit? And they're kind of like, I'm not gonna say, but use your own judgment. I'm like, okay, copy. Another thing. Fuck, what was it? Now I fucking forgot. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me. But how can they get away with that? I think it's this. They act. See, this video is going longer than I thought. They act like it's the fringe. Like yes, we're on the fringe of the industry, as if it's like, picture like flat Earth. I know the Earth ain't flat, but picture that as if, like, no, we're still part of the Earth. We're just on the fringe, and and you can just go in. It's fluid. No, dude, that's a bad analogy. If that's what you're visualizing. It would be more like if there was a 1,000-foot wall around the industry with no obvious door, with no obvious way in, A wall, not a dome, a wall. So you can get in. It's just how, And around that, there's a fucking moat, and there's sharks, and there's alligators, and there's piranha, and then outside of that, that's where all the services live. Not a part of the industry. A lot of these service people, they act like we're best buds with them. No, you're not. Then why are you on the outside of the wall past the moat? A lot of these service people, they act like they're this tight with all of them in the industry, can't have a hell of a time getting to them. And can't get their own shit to them. They get it to, like, the bottom people, when they can. Or maybe they get lucky every once in a fucking blue moon and get it to someone a little bit higher. They're not super tight with them. But the industry is like this. Like, then why can they get away with that? Why can they get away? Here's my theory. I think the industry has their lookout people in the watchtowers. Yeah, I see some people setting up fences beyond the moat. Captain, or fucking boss or whatever. And I see a bunch of riders running toward the fence. And the boss is like, did the fence stop them? And the lookout person is like, yes, it seems to be doing a good job of stopping them. And the boss is like, perfect, then let them keep the fence up, even though we own that land. Look the other way. Okay, come down, you're done. let them keep running into the fence. Let me get over. That's kind of what it's like. That's the best analogy I can think of. I think they just look the other way. They know the fence is there, and they know that the people manning the fence are bullshitting all these people. But they're like, I don't really care, because it acts as a service to us. It acts like another buffer, so we don't have to deal with as many fucking crazy delusional writers. We don't have, and like a deluge, we don't have to deal with so much fucking material. Perfect. It works out. It works out for us, I think that's why. And my ex has told me, yeah, I know that shit's out there. I don't know the name of any of these companies, but I know that it's out there. And I know they're fucking over writers and shit and stealing the money and all this kind of shit. She said that to me. And pretty much every fucking agent and producer and everybody inside the industry knows that. It's no secret. Well then if they know that they're fucking over writers and all this shit, why wouldn't they try to stop them? Because they're like, it's not my job. They're thinking like, my job is to make sure that my clients get a job. My clients get paid. They know that all the writers beyond that fence are paying and spinning their wheels in the little rat cage, going round and round for no fucking reason, just keep paying them, to end up in the same place. They know that. But they're just like, it's not my job to police that. Number one, I wouldn't get paid for that. That's number one. Number two, there's too many of them. There's too many of them. It's like roaches and rats out there. There's too many of them. So they just let that be what it is. And it will happen into fucking infinity. So be that writer that is the needle that gets fucking through. And that's the other thing. They know that needle is out there, and they believe that needle will find its way to them. They're just waiting for that needle to be put on the silver platter and brought to them. That's really what it is. They're not going to go looking for it. Hope that helps, guys. Best of luck. Kill it. Believe in yourself. Believe you're that needle that's going to get through. But you can't be a little baby about it. It's going to be tough. Okay? Tough love, guys. Later. Good luck.